Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. This is the new part of this Photoshop tutorial series. In this part I will talk about exposures inside Adobe Photoshop. So what do I mean by exposures? Exposure means working with contrast, working with brightness, working with different coloring effects of the image. And I will show you how to work with these things with the help of examples. Like you can see on my screen, I have this image open, this image, and I have 5 images opened, and I will show you each and every concept of exposures of images and apply those things on these images. Alright, so first of all I will talk about contrast and brightness of the image, and you can see on the right side this is the adjustment panel. If you don't see inside your Photoshop, just go to Windows tab and click on adjustments, and then this panel will pop up. Alright, you can see that this is the image on the default background layer. What you need to do is to select this default background layer. Alright, and then click on this top left corner tool, the brightness and contrast. You can see that I have clicked. Right now the value of brightness and contrast are set to 0. What we need to do, we need to increase the brightness first. Alright, so you can see that I'm increasing the brightness. I think that's pretty well. What I wanted to do is I wanted to bring this image like it will look like that this was captured on the daylight. Earlier it was looking like it was captured in the evening. So this is pretty much it for this brightness, and now increase the contrast. Okay, I don't want to increase too much because it will not look so good, so I think that's pretty well. Alright, so you can see that I have increased the brightness and contrast of this image. Right now you can see that above this background layer I have this new layer. Whenever you use any of these tools, these adjustment tools, Photoshop will automatically create this new layer. Alright, I will explain later that what does it mean by this rectangular white box. This is used to apply any particular effect on any particular area of this image. Like what if I want to apply or increase the brightness of the image, brightness of this truck rather than this mountain and roads. I can do it by using this rectangular tool, but I'm not going to explain in this part. I'll explain in the later part of this series. So you can see that I have closed this brightness contrast. I can reopen it. If I want to change its values, I can just double click this. You can see that these values are already set that I changed earlier. This is 89 and 21. Alright, now I will close this. Other thing is I can change the opacity and fill color of this layer to bring this image according to our requirement. Alright, so you can see that I'm just trying to decrease the opacity from 100 to, I think that would be 90. That would look pretty well. Make sure you don't decrease the opacity or fill color of this background layer because it is already locked, but you can unlock it, but don't do it on the original image. Just do it on the effect that you have just applied. Alright, so this was all for this brightness and contrast. So now guys, let's come to this image. In this image I will again talk about its exposures, its brightness and the contrast, but mainly I will talk about hue, saturation, effect and apply that on this image. Alright, so make sure you have selected this background layer and click on this icon. Okay, so you can see that it has opened this dialog box. It has a hue slider, saturation slider and the lightness slider. Alright, so first of all, the hue slider change the color of this image, which I don't want to use it. If you want to see that, just you can see that it's changing the color, but it is not looking pretty well. I just want to bring it back to 0. Okay, what I want to do is I want to work with the saturation and the lightning effects. Okay, so if I click right here and increase its value, you can see that how colors are being more popping up. Okay, you can see that the yellow color have been come to the life, the bluish color, the black color, and everything is pretty well. Now one thing I want to mention here, what if I want to increase the yellow color just but don't want to increase the bluish color? If you see right here the preset, okay, it has been selected to custom. Okay, it means that I want to work with these values by my own. If I want to work the default styles that is provided by Photoshop, I can just try these things. You can see that it has been converted to sepia old style, but I just want to leave it to custom. Now below that there is another drop down, it has been selected to master. So as I mentioned that if I want to change the value of the yellow color of this parrot, what I need to do now, I need to select this drop down and select yellow color. Alright, now if I change the value of saturation, you can see that only yellow color of this image is being changed. So you can see that how this tool can be powerful. You can just change and apply effect on any particular area of the image based on color rather than selecting it. Okay, so I think that I wanted to increase the yellow color. Alright, that's pretty much it, and I wanted to increase the light of this yellowish color. I want to bring it back to master, and I want to decrease the lightness effect. Alright, so you can see that I have changed the values and applied different effects. Now if I want to compare this new affected image with the previous one, I can just do it by clicking on this eye icon. If you have seen my layers tutorial, you might be understanding what I'm saying. So you can see that this is some like a kind of some dull image, and if I want to see my new image, you can see that the colors of parrot are being changed, but you can work with it more as well. Okay, so that was pretty much it. If I want to make this image more clear, then I can use levels as well. Okay, I will click levels, and you can see that there is nothing right here in this area inside this histogram. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to bring it where the histogram starts, so it will make the darker area of the images more clear. Alright, I will take the midtones to the left as well. Okay, now if I want to make the lighter area more clear, I can just do it right this. Okay, actually I wanted to make it um, to the left side, but you might be seeing that it is increasing the lighter color, but I want to work with this tool. Okay, the mid-tones. So you can see that this border of this mountains is being shown. Alright, so this is, I think this is more better image than the previous one. If you want to work with this more, then you can just double click right here and just change its value. Alright, if I want to compare this with the previous one, you can see that how the new image is more clearer than my default image. Alright, so the last topic that I want to talk about in this part is the most amazing tool from the previous 2-3 tools that I have explained, is the curves. Okay, which I will explain you by applying these effects on this image. You can see that this is so blur image. This is underwater image. There is a ship and some people swimming inside this water. What if I want to make this image more clear? It is the curve are same as the histogram inside the levels, but curve provide more advanced tools and more flexibility to change the color and applying effect on the image. Let's click on it. You can see that it has a histogram as well. Again, you can see that this is the left area of this histogram is empty, means there is not that much darker area on this image. Alright, all the image is composed of mid-tone or the lighter areas. I want to bring this thing to where the histogram starts. You can see that this simple step have how changed the whole image. Alright, now I want to bring the lighter to the right as well. Okay, now you there were just three options inside the levels, but in curves you can have many options as well. Again, you can just also use the customs and work with colors as well, which I've already explained. You can do it by your own. Okay, if I want to change the middle this line, I just want to click on this line and you can see that it has created this anchor point on this histogram. Now I just want to drag this right here. I want to increase the color, the contrast of this image from the bottom. Okay, so I think that's pretty much fine. Now I want to make create a new anchor point. I will click right here and then I will just drag it up here because the upper area shows the sunlight, so I want to increase the light from the upper area of this image. Okay, so that it will look like that the light is coming from upside. Okay, just increase the light from the bottom of this image. So I think that's pretty much it. Close it. Now let's compare this image with the previous one. So guys, the result is in front of you. You can see that how powerful this curve tool is. Alright, you can see that everything is being visible. If you have captured an image that is blurred, you can just change that image